Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our Lorbeck Luxury Cars Friday Drive. Now, we've got something a little bit different. I've grabbed 4 different vehicles here in the showroom, different price points and different types of cars that I think are a good value, and some comparisons with one very special car to finish off with at the end. Okay, so first off, we have this Mercedes-Benz C63 from 2009, just under $50,000. You can see where the theme's going with this a little bit, but when these cars first came out, they blew people away. Just the sheer power from that 6.3 litre V8, the styling. I mean, look how boxy and mean it looks on the road, and you can imagine it as you're driving it. You can feel that rumble in the V8s, and that's still the way that Mercedes cars are today. You drive an AMG that's current, and you get that feeling inside of the car where you feel the grumble of that V8, and we all love that feeling, right? And other than the styling, you've got the sunroof at the top here and those big exhausts that will be at the back of the car. And then we're going to hop in and we're going to talk a little bit about the interior as well, right? So as we hop in, close the door, you can tell what sort of era this car's from, but in my opinion, I don't think it really matters. You're getting this car because of its performance and what it's capable of, not the niceties inside. It's no different why you buy a classic car. You don't buy it because it's got Apple CarPlay, you buy it because you want the experience of the drive. And that's what I feel like this thing does. We'll start it up as well. You can hear the engine. Straight away, you can hear that V8. Just sounds amazing, I love it. And then even still, the steering wheel position's really nice. The pedals are fantastic. They're still nice and firm as just pressing them. And having driven this car, it's so direct and it's so much fun to drive. But then when you put your foot down, this thing just takes off like you wouldn't believe. Now we've got another one that's come in that's a little bit newer that we're going to be doing a Friday drive on next week with Harry. And make sure you keep an eye out for that one because it's a very special car, but I'll save all the details for next week. Okay, on to the next car. This time, we've got a 2013 BMW M3 Convertible. Now, this thing with its 4-litre V8 this time instead of the 6.3, slightly different in the way that it delivers its power, but it still produces 414 brake horsepower. And we've got that really classic, like this era of BMW M3, I absolutely love. You know, it's got that sort of rounded off front end. It looks an awful lot better than the current BMWs. I think probably quite a few of us would maybe agree with that. But also that real boxy rear end of the era is not too dissimilar to the C63 in the sense that really squared off shape at the back. Now I'm going to hop in again, and one of the actual things I love about this before I do is it still has those sort of orangey tinged lights. I feel like I'm at Le Mans almost with the orange lights of the GT cars. I love it. As you hop in, you know you're in a car that's slightly different in the sense it doesn't have as many niceties. This has a little bit more than the C63 as a comparison, but again, we'll start the car up. You can still hear that noise. It sounds so good. I mean, the 4-litre does sound a little bit different to the C63, but even still, it's a great sounding car. We'll rev it up. Still sounds so, you hear the pop almost straight away. Now we're going to try the roof. Just going to drop it down here. And the one thing I love about this car is the hard top roof. I'm going to hop out of this thing as well, and we'll talk about the shape as we make this happen. I've just put the roof up. I really want to talk about this because for me personally, I love the fact that it's convertible because in the summer, you're going down beach road, it's perfect to get the wind in your hair and really have some fun with it. But when it's winter time, it's a bit cold, it's also got the hard top. So the look of it, not just the feeling inside the cabin, but also the noise of the road, but that's going to keep you nice and warm. And I love the shape of it, even with that hard top. It makes it look so good. Okay, we're finished with the BMW. Now it's on to a couple of SUVs. Now, the first one I'm a huge fan of, and lots of people, you see them everywhere, is this beautiful Porsche Macan S. Now, this thing's got a 3-litre V6 in it, and it's the same engine out of, kind of like a GTI, but it's sort of modified a little bit. It's got 2 turbochargers as well, produces enough power when you start it up you can still hear it, but it's not overbearing. So for that sort of mid-size SUV, which is going to be different to the next car that we're going to talk about, they're fantastic. I mean, there's a reason why you see these things everywhere. It's not just because they're a great car, but they're awfully well priced. Now, this one in particular is fantastic. It's got as many options as you can think of. We'll have another look inside, but I mean, just seeing the Porsche badge there gives you enough to say how great it is. I mean, we love Porsches on our Friday drives too, right? Hopping inside, the first thing that I really notice is the gear lever, is the buttons. it's not like you're getting into a Porsche and they've gone, oh, because it's an SUV, we're going to change it up. This is the same as if you hopped in a 911 or whatever it might be. It's all the same. So same thing, I'm going to grab the key and we're going to start it up. I love how the key looks like a Porsche. I think that's really cool. Just one of those little things that we love and enjoy about them. You can kind of hear the engine start up again. It's just a beautiful little car. So I'm going to put it into Sport Plus just so we can get the noise going. But even still, I love how analog all this is. You've still got the screen, and we're going up in years now, but with these ones, I love the analog feel. We've got our sport modes, we've got our Sport Plus mode. You can stiffen it up. It's still a Porsche, so I still want to be able to drive it properly. And when you drive one of these things, you still get that sporty feel, even though it's an SUV, but then it's an SUV, so you get all the space, great family car, and the way that the engine delivers its power, it's very Porsche, and I love that. And even the same as the steering wheel. They've not skipped on anything in the sense that just because it's an SUV, they're going to change it up. It's all the same, and that's what I love about it. Okay, so we're finished with the Porsche, one of my absolute favorites that we have here. We've also got a GTS, which is a bit more expensive than this, but it's one of the ones to go for if you can afford that extra little bit. They're the one. Now, onto our Range Rover Velar. Now, these things are super comfortable, super luxury, but for a car that's under $80,000 is really, really impressive. Now, the shape is very classic Range Rover, but the Velar gives it a little bit of a longer shape at the back, but also that super comfort on the inside. And you've got that really classic sort of, see the big wheels on the side. I love like the little details on the accents all along here as well. Again, I'll hop in the car. This one is a 2-litre diesel, but that's exactly kind of what you want out of this type of vehicle, right? Like it's built to do so many kilometers in comfort. When you look at the way the seats are, they're super comfortable. You've got so much space in the back and the boot. But then as you start it up, now we're not going to think about the sound this time because it's slightly different to the ones we've been looking at, but we want to compare in a different way, right? But we've got the tech in this is fantastic. The wheel's nice and comfortable. I like the seating position, which is something for me is just really important. Now we're going to start the screen up. All touch screen here, all touch screen there. You do have a few analog dials, but it's taken that tech to another level. And that's what I really, really like about these things. It's ease of use and comfortability, and that's what they're built for. And even with the way that you select the dials from drive, the reversing camera is fantastic. We've got a big sunroof back here, so we can raise that up. We can take it down, we can do whatever. I'm going to open it up here, but it goes back such a long way. You can see how far it goes back. That space is massive in comparison to so many other cars. I'm going to put that back now with the little windbreaker at the top there, and they're just a fantastic thing. And you know, if you are living out in the country and you have to go a bit off-road, you're never going to worry about it. And I know some people do, but these things are incredibly capable, far more than probably people really realize. They're not just for going over curbs in Touareg, they're built for going all over the place. And if you're going to do a long journey, I'd want to be in one of these. To finish off, I wanted to do something a little bit different. If I could choose one car in the whole of this place, it would be this 2016 GT3 RS. Now, this car for me is the perfect road car, track car. I've driven so many of them on the track, and they are by far the best vehicle you can drive before you hop in a race car on a racetrack. I absolutely love them. This one in particular has done less than 500 kilometers. So I was begging Shreko to do a Friday drive in it and for me to please take it to a circuit so I can drive around all day, but that's not gonna happen. But less than 500 Ks, it was bought brand new, it's hardly been driven, and it is immaculate in the white. And before we're gonna go into the interior in a second, but it's that classic 911 shape. It looks tough, it's super, super fast. The big rear wing on the back, that GT3 RS styling is amazing. I can't wait for the new ones to come out as well. Once I'm gonna start to see a few of them come in, they're basically like a Carrera Cup car. It's incredible. Let's hop in here. Right, I've hopped in, and something just to note before we get into it a little bit is, remember when we sat into the Macan? This is the same. It's all the same here, and that's, you can hop in a GT3 RS or a Macan, and it's very similar, and I like that. I've got the harness here, and these harnesses are actually very similar to the ones that I use when I'm racing. So it's very, very similar. I'm gonna put the whole thing on so I can feel like I'm racing again. And you can start to get an idea. So when you're on circuit, they're that stiff because they've not been used. There we go. it kind of shows how little this thing's been used and how pristine it's been kept, because it's probably never even been changed. There we go, that's better. I won't tighten it up. I feel like I'm back in a car now. Now we're gonna start this thing up. I'm ready for this noise, okay? Press the exhaust button as always. Oh, there's nothing better than that sound. Such a great, oh, I love these things. And this thing has got the red and the black interior. You've got the red stitching, the red seat belts. They're just brilliant. And if I could have any car in this whole place, it would be this. That's going to be the end of our video. We hope you like this different type of content. I think we're going to do one of these every month to give you something a little bit different, where we showcase what we have in the showroom. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, our YouTube channel, all our social medias, and let us know in the comments what sort of cars you'd like us to drive. Have a look on our website, take a look and say, all right, this is what I want to see you guys drive, and we're going to make it happen for you. And we'll catch you next time. Cheers.